These are the 15 types of cruise cabins in 2026, ranked from worst to best. By the end, you will know exactly which cabin is worth your money and which one to avoid at all costs. So let's count down all 15, from number 15 to number 1. Number 15, the worst cabin you can book is the guaranteed inside cabin, the kind of bargain rate lines like Carnival and Royal Caribbean sell as a guarantee. With this one, you are paying the lowest possible fare, but you do not get to choose a single thing. The cruise line assigns you a windowless interior room wherever they happen to have leftover space, which often means a noisy spot directly under the pool deck or right next to a crew area. It's cheap, and that's the entire point. But you are rolling the dice on location and getting 4 walls with no natural light whatsoever, and if you are unlucky, a long walk to the elevators every single morning. At number 14 is the standard inside cabin, where budget-focused lines like MSC Cruises sell some of the cheapest rooms at sea. It's the same windowless box, but this time you actually get to pick where it sits, so you can choose a quiet, central deck and dodge the worst surprises. For budget travelers who only use the room to sleep, it's a smart way to spend your money on experiences instead of square footage. Still, waking up in total darkness with no sense of what time it is just isn't for everyone. Number 13 is the inside cabin with a virtual balcony or a magical porthole. Lines like Royal Caribbean and Disney install floor-to-ceiling screens or round digital portholes that stream a live view from outside the ship, sometimes with a cartoon character floating past for the kids. It's a clever trick that makes a windowless room feel far less like a cave. It's still fake, but it's a genuine upgrade over staring at a blank wall. At number 12 is the interior view cabin, which looks out over an indoor space rather than the sea. Think of the promenade or a themed neighborhood like Central Park on the big Royal Caribbean ships. You get an actual window and some daylight, plus great people watching over the action below. The catch is that your view is of the inside of the ship, and the noise from the promenade can drift up late into the night. Number 11 is the Obstructed Oceanview, a category you will find all over older ships from lines like Princess Cruises. This is a real window facing the actual ocean, but something is parked right in front of it, usually a lifeboat or a big piece of equipment. You will still get daylight and a sliver of sea, often at a nice discount compared to a clear view. If you just want natural light and do not care about a postcard, it is a quiet little bargain. Just check the deck plans carefully because some of these are almost completely blocked. At number 10 is the Standard Oceanview cabin with a clear picture window, a classic you'll find in abundance on traditional lines like Holland America. Now you have an unobstructed view of the water and all the natural light you could want, which makes a surprising difference to how a small room actually feels. The trade-off is simple. The window doesn't open, so you get the view, but never the fresh air or the sound of the sea. It's also worth knowing these are sometimes priced almost as high as a basic balcony, so always compare the two before you book. For a lot of cruisers, though, this is the exact line where a cabin stops feeling like a box. Number 9 is the Obstructed Balcony, sold at a discount on ships across lines like Norwegian Cruise Line. Here, you finally get to step outside, with your own private veranda and a door that opens to real ocean air, even if a lifeboat or a steel beam blocks part of the view. That fresh air and outdoor space are a massive jump in quality of life on board, and you are paying less than you would for a clear balcony. Honestly, a partly blocked balcony still beats the best window every single time. At number 8 is the Infinite Veranda, and this is the most divisive cabin at sea. Pioneered by celebrity on its Edge-class ships, the Edge, Apex, Beyond, and Ascent, it replaces the traditional balcony with a wall of glass that lowers at the touch of a button, turning the entire end of your room into an open-air space. Fans love the extra indoor square footage it adds. Critics feel cheated because you lose the separate, furnished outdoor balcony you would normally expect. Brilliant or a downgrade, depending entirely on who you ask. Number 7 is the Cove Balcony, a Carnival specialty. These sit lower on the ship, closer to the waterline, tucked into the hull so they feel sheltered and private. You're right down near the waves for an intimate, almost secret connection to the sea. The downside is that the steel hull around you partly encloses the view, and they can catch more sea spray in rough weather, but the people who love these cabins are fiercely loyal to them. At number 6 is the Standard Balcony. The cabin most experienced cruisers will tell you is the sweet spot of the entire ship, and the workhorse veranda you'll book on the big Royal Caribbean ships. You get a private outdoor space, an unobstructed view, fresh air, and your morning coffee out over the open ocean, all without paying sweet prices. It's the single most popular upgrade in cruising for a reason. Once you've had a balcony, it's genuinely hard to go back to a window. If you only splurge on one thing, this is usually where the smart money goes. Number 5 is the Aft-Facing Balcony, the cabin that connoisseurs quietly hunt for, sold by Carnival as its prized aft view extended balcony. These sit at the very back of the ship, with oversized verandas that look straight out over the wake, stretching all the way to the horizon. The views at sunset are the best on the whole ship, and the balconies are often noticeably bigger than a standard one, sometimes wrapping partway around the corner. They sell out fast, and people will book years ahead just to get one. At number 4 is the SPA or Concierge class balcony. Now we are moving into the premium tiers, where your balcony cabin comes bundled with serious perks, priority everything, upgraded bedding and toiletries, and on spa cabins, direct access to the thermal suites and relaxation lounges. Celebrity does this best with its Aqua class cabins, which include unlimited access to the ship's thermal suite and relaxation lounges, while Carnival's Cloud9 spa staterooms and Norwegian's spa rooms offer the same idea. A cabin steps from the spa with the thermal suite thrown in. It is a regular balcony with a thick layer of pampering on top, and for some travelers that access alone is worth the jump. Number 3 is the Junior Suite, the entry point to genuine suite living and a defined category on Royal Caribbean. You get dramatically more space, a separate sitting area, a walk-in closet, and a big bathroom, often with a proper tub, plus a larger balcony. On many ships, you also unlock suite-only dining and private lounges, and you board faster on embarkation day. It's the cabin where a cruise stops feeling like a hotel room and starts feeling like a vacation home. At number 2 is the Full Suite, the owners and grand suites perched near the top of the ship, like Holland America's Neptune and Pinnacle Suites with their private Neptune lounge. These are sprawling multi-room residences with panoramic views, walk-in wardrobes, premium dining, and on most lines, a dedicated butler and concierge handling your every request. You are no longer just a passenger. You are getting a personal, high-end hotel experience that happens to be floating across the ocean. And the best cabin type in 2026, taking the number 1 spot, is the Suite Class Enclave, the so-called ship within a ship. This is Norwegian's Haven, MSC's Yacht Club, Celebrity's The Retreat, and Royal Caribbean Suite Neighborhood, topped by its Star Class tier, a private, gated section of the ship with its own restaurant, lounge, pool, sun deck, and personal butler, all sealed off from the crowds. At the absolute peak sits something like the ultimate family townhouse on Star of the Seas, a 3-story suite with its own slide, a private cinema, and a backyard, where a single week can run from around $75,000 to well into 6 figures. Everything is included, nothing is off limits, and you never wait in a single line, not for dinner, not for a show, not even to get off the ship in port. For travelers who can afford it, it turns a busy megaship into a quiet private yacht. It is, without question, the best way to sail. So there's the countdown, from a windowless gamble at number 15, all the way up to a floating mansion at number 1. Whatever your budget, you now know exactly which cabin gives you the most for your money. If this helped you plan your next cruise, do me a favor and hit the like button and subscribe for more cruise rankings and travel breakdowns every week. I'll see you on the next one.